Hey ghouls, Mordecai here. I'm going to do a second advice for new players slash things I wish I knew when I first started. I'm going to go more in depth in things that I covered in the first video, and a few things that I think should have been in a first video, and a lot more. So let's get into it. First thing I probably should have talked about is how dying is not a big deal. Unlike other games, if you die in Fallout 76, there aren't really any penalties. There's only one minor one. It can be annoying when you first start or if you've got a really good haul. But for example, here's my junk. Got a lot of other stuff. Food, aid, armor, weapons. So I'll give you an example here. Hey, wake up. Wake up. Yeah, man. There we go. Oh no. Okay. And we'll open up my... Everything's still there. Got my armor, weapons, my food, my aid. But my junk's gone. So all you gotta do... come back here and wipe these guys out so they don't get around too. And whatever bag you have set for your drop bag, it'll be where you died, and you can re-grab all the things that you lost. See, it's back in my inventory. So yeah, so no real penalty to dying, except that it can be pretty obnoxious if you're in a boss fight and you gotta run back. Another thing that can be pretty annoying is fast traveling, especially when you're newer and you don't have a whole lot of caps. I'm on the far right side of the map, so say I wanted to go here. It's gonna cost 56 caps to travel there. Now of course you can mitigate that by under charisma. See here, travel agent. It's only 1 star. It only takes up 1 slot. You pay 30% fewer caps when fast traveling. Or there are other things you can do. The beginning where you first started, Vault 76. As you can see, it's free to fast travel there. There's a few other places like White Springs, another popular place. Free to fast travel anywhere in White Springs. When you get further into the game and you get introduced to the crater and Foundation, you can fast travel there for free. And Foundation, free. Or if you're on a team and they have a tent set up. See, my tent is set up here. So it'll work pretty much the same way. Whether it's your tent, if you have Fallout first, or their tent, if you're on a team, for you fast travel. If you, let's say you don't really want to go to Vault 76, you don't want to go here. Well, that's a whole lot less distance, so you can travel there for free, and then hoof it. When you first set out into the wasteland, one of the first places you're likely to come across is the Wayward. And when you get here, there's all kinds of useful things you can do. There's corn here you can collect, water from the purifiers, and milk, the Brahmin. But in addition to that, there are benches you can use to craft early on items, armor, and weapons, and of course a cooking station. One of the first and most important things you should do as soon as you get the chance is to set up a camp. Open up your Pip-Boy and press L1 on the PS5 at least, and you'll have a camp kit like this. The green indicates a dome in which you're allowed to place it, and once it's placed, build. As long as it's green, you should be able to place it. So I'm going to place this camp. It cost 40 caps. And then once you've placed it, hold down the options button on the PS5. And the first thing you're going to need to do is lay down a foundation. You're probably not going to have that many options to choose from, but you can learn plans and things to change the appearance, and things you can also purchase from the item shop to make it look different ways. But yours will initially probably look like this. After you've placed a foundation, you can place as many as will allow you to make it however you like. And then walls. Let's see here, something basic. Oh well. I'll just place something. You can place walls. And then a door. And then a roof. And after you play with it, you'll get the hang of it. Put a door on the front of it. Apparently not this one. There we go. Found one that I liked. And then, if you go up to it, and at least on the PS5, L2 to lock it, there's different levels of lock. Set up. One of the things you might want to consider doing as soon as possible is to set up a vendor. So hold down the options button, bring up your camp list here, and go over to vendors. The first one you're likely to have is this vendor. Eventually, once you unlock plans, you can make it look like all kinds of other different things. But now the vendors aren't necessary to be powered up, but if you do power up, it'll light up and be more attractive. Now, the other thing that you'd like to set down, I'll get back to the vendors in a moment here, is a stash box. With a stash box, you can place all the stuff in here from your inventory. It can hold up to 1,200 pounds. Used to be a lot less, so at least I'm thankful for that, even though I'm constantly filling it up. Once you have that, you can interact with your vending machine. Choose something to sell. This one, for example, I can set it for whatever price. Let's say 1,000 caps. That's the item price. I accept. And now it's in my vendor for 1,000 caps. I'm going to remove that because I'm going to scrap it, or send it up for script. But just while you're out doing things, you can gather materials, and then if you feel you have something of value, you can try to sell it. To make things easier to try to determine whether or not there's something, the value of it. For example, here's what I have in my vendor at the moment. I used a website called FED76, FED76. It's not always accurate, but it gives you a generally good idea on what your items might be worth. And so you look it up and type in what your weapon has. For example, you would type in a radium rifle, and then it's up to 50% damage based on caps you have. That would be aristocrat. The second would be explosive. The third would be 50% reload speed. That would be a 3-star. And it would tell you what it was worth. Some items, you're not likely to encounter them right away, are worth more than what could currently be sold for. 40,000 caps at the moment is the most, and I do have weapons that are worth more than 40,000 caps. Those are considered trade only, so you would hold on to them and maybe trade with them for something else that you would like. What I'd like to know is, in your camp there are things that you can place down, like this workbench, the bike, the perfumer, and whatnot, and each one of these things, when interacted with, gives you a temporary boost to one of your specials. For example, I have a mechanical derby game in mine, and when I use it, it increases my intelligence by 2. As you play through the game, you'll unlock different recipes and plans, things that you can use for armor, or apparel, or for your camp. Some of the most important ones are going to be, for example, an armor workbench and a weapons workbench. When you interact with them, you can repair your armor. Well, I'm at a weapons workbench. I don't have anything currently requiring repair. The yellow bar on the left is the condition. When it's not full, it's in need of repair. Obviously, I wouldn't repair it if it had a sliver missing, but there are also things that you can do to increase the duration of your weapons and armor. If either you haven't acquired the plans to craft your crafting stations yet for your own, you can either use another player's crafting station, or you can head to White Springs North Entrance and the White Springs Mall. And if you head this way, not only are there many vendors you can interact with to purchase or sell things you might be interested in, but there is also this room here, which has every single workbench, power armor station, that you could need at the moment, all in one handy spot. There's even a legendary exchange vendor that you can turn in your unwanted legendaries, turn them into script, and a gold vendor, so that you can turn your treasury notes in for gold bullion. The big difference when you're first starting off is vendors have a daily limit of caps, I believe of 1,400. So before you log off, or at any point in time, you can head to one and sell whatever it is that you have in excess for caps. And just a few days of that, and you'll have quite a bit. One way that you can get lots of material to sell for caps is to participate in events such as the big ones that would get you a lot of items would be Radiation Rumble, Moonshine Jamboree, and Eviction Notice. At least at the moment, Eviction Notice can get you a lot of legendaries, although I hear that they are nerfing it soon. When repairing gear or weapons, select the appropriate bench, in this case a weapon for me. Select the weapon in question, inspect and repair, and then you can either choose to use a repair kit or workbench repair. I'm going to choose workbench repair, and it'll show you the required junk and supplies to repair it in its current condition. Now, I could repair this way, and it would fill it to full. As you can see, there's not much damage to it. The yellow bar on the left. Or pick up a perk card, if you can, called Weapon Artisan, and they can repair any weapon to 200% of normal maximum condition. As you can see, there's a white line going through it indicating that it's repaired to 200% normal condition. The other option was a repair kit. They can be purchased from the item shop, but they also, see if I can remember where they're at. Okay, scrap kit, repair kit. Alright, I found it. It wasn't under repair kit, it was under basic repair kit. There's also advanced repair kits, but using a repair kit is not necessary to be at a repair bench. You can use them at any time. But if you come across a player's base looking to either investigate or try to see what they have for sale in their vending machine, you may have come across a trap base. A trap base is something where it lures you in with what they might have for sale on their vending machine, and as you try to locate their vending machine, something kills you. And it's just a good rule of thumb to, before you go into this base and investigating it, anytime you start doing vendor hopping, get rid of your junk first. Because then after you die, the owner of the trap base will come out, steal your junk, and there's nothing you can do about it. So it's just a good idea to dump your junk somewhere before you investigate another player's base. When it comes to ammunition, especially early on, it can be difficult to maintain and get a hold of. But there are things you can do to assist you with that. This is called an ammo converter. So as you play, you can hold on to as much ammo that you don't really need for, weapons that you don't have or don't intend on using, and use this ammo converter, which you can, I believe, purchase for gold bullion at Crater. And then you can trade unwanted ammo for the ammo that you do want. In addition to the ammo converter, something that you should do every day would be to, just as you're going about killing things, or especially if you want to hit up West Tech. West Tech is good for all sorts of things, like XP farming. When you kill things, you can loot them, and not only can you find all sorts of useful junk and weapons that you can break down, but ammo. Ammo that you need for your current weapon, or for weapons that you don't need that you can throw into the converter. I also recommend that you carry multiple weapons, so if one runs out, you have ammo for another. In the bottom left-hand corner, you can see two numbers. The number on the right represents the max amount that I can carry, and the number on the left represents the amount that I am currently carrying. Now, if you'd like to increase that, there are multiple things you can do. One is step at an armor's workbench here, select my backpack, and you can put different mods on it. Now, after you complete the main quest line and you have access to start collecting gold bullion, you can interact with a gold bullion trader, like this one at Foundation. And scroll down. Here we have a grocer's backpack mod, which reduces food and drink weight by 90%. So even though that doesn't increase my max carry weight over 280, it reduces the weight of all food and drink in my backpack by 90%. If you have a lot of patience, you can head over to the Pioneer Scout Camp over in the Toxic Valley and talk to Scout Leader Jaggy, if that's how you pronounce it. And through a difficult set of tasks he wants you to complete, you can unlock quite a few different things, but most importantly, a large backpack, unlike the small one that I currently have, which will increase your max carry weight. And lastly, there are perk cards that you can acquire. Arms Keeper, for example, your rifles weigh 75% less. Let's see here. Through Hiker, food and drink weights are reduced by 90%. Batteries included. Energy weapon ammo weighs 90% less. And what I never leave home without is Bandolier. Ballistic weapon ammo weighs 90% less. For the moment, the final thing that I'll say about ammunition is, as soon as you're able to, you should pick up the cards Super Duper, Ammo Smith, and eventually the legendary Ammo Factory. And then when you interact with the Tinker's Workbench, it will greatly increase the amount of ammo that you're able to craft. At an ammo workbench, select ammo. You have many different choices to choose from. You're going to have energy ammo, explosive ammo, grenades, and ultrasight ammo. You select ammo. In this case, I want 45. It'll show me what's required. Eventually, to get the most damage and use out of the weapons that you use, you're going to want to modify them. In this case, we'll talk about this particular weapon, the Fixer, which is a upgrade to the combat rifle. So we'll interact with the weapons workbench. Select the Fixer, select Modify, and then we have many different receivers. I have many options here for barrels, stocks, etc. Now, when you first get these weapons, you're not going to have any mods. maybe just a few. Some mods can be purchased from vendors, but other mods can only be acquired by scrapping other weapons. In this case, the fixer, like I said, shares mods with a combat rifle. So you can either farm for that particular weapon, or with super duper equipped preferably, I can select machine guns, short combat rifle. This requires gunsmith rank 3. So I'll put on gunsmith. Other weapons, there are other weapons that you can do this with that don't require any perk cards to manipulate. But in this case, I have to. See, modify. Oh, sorry, that's not what I'm doing. I want to craft. Alright. And now we can craft a combat rifle. So for the purpose of getting mods, I'm just going to craft the lowest level one that I can. And let's see, I'm crafting 5. Well, roll on adhesive, I'll craft 2. That noise indicates that super duper triggered. So as we can see, we crafted an additional combat rifle. So then I'll interact with it again, and I will scrap these. Also, before scrapping weapons and gear, another thing you might want to acquire is under intelligence, there is a perk called Scrapper. You obtain more components when you scrap weapons and armor. So do your best to remember to put that on. Don't do like I did and forget. But as you scrap them, you will unlock different mods. It's at random. The more you've learned, the less likely it is for you to learn more. So you'll just have to keep scrapping more and more. But as you play, you will unlock more mods naturally. In my last video, I briefly touched on mutations. If you open up your Pip-Boy, head over to Stat and Effects, you can see here's my mutations. Every mutation has a pro and a con. Depending on your build, the con might not matter. In this case, the con doesn't matter to me because it's not that bad. But if I wanted to combat that con, for example, marsupial is, as you can see, -4 intelligence. I could come over here and put on Class Freak, and it will reduce the negative effects by 75%. Let's put that on. As you can see, marsupial is only reducing my intelligence by -1. But let me take that back off so you get a proper idea of what we're talking about here. Some of the ones that you might want to get as soon as you can. Bird bones, it reduces your fall speed. So when you fall, you're less likely to take damage or die. Adrenal reaction is only good really if you're doing a bloodied build because it increases your weapon damage at low health. Eagle eyes increases your crit damage. And you're either going to want herbivore or carnivore, depending on your build. But most people want to get marsupial and speed demon. Speed demon increases your movement speed and your reload speed. But marsupial increases your carry weight and it allows you to jump high. Otherwise, I don't know if you knew, walking around seeing other players just like jump to the moon and you can't jump to save your life. Well, that's how they do it. Now you can either get serums from the Enclave. I explained that in my previous video. Serums look like this, for example. And you can get the mutation directly. or you can try your hand at randomly obtaining mutations, but the likelihood of getting you all the ones that you want and the ones that you don't want are nearly impossible. But I believe I mentioned this in my previous video. Once you've gotten mutations that you want to keep and you don't want to lose, if you take rat away without the proper protection, you will lose your mutations one at a time. But under luck, if you have starch genes equipped, you will never mutate from rads, and right away will never cure mutations. So as long as you have that equipped, you can do what you like and you won't risk losing your mutations. If you open up your map, bring up the menu, you'll see that there's something called seasons. If you go here, you can see all these wonderful prizes that you can get, but many of them are locked and they have this symbol on them. Well, you have to progress through each one by completing challenges. On that same menu, you can see challenges, and daily there will be things that you have to accomplish, and you get a score indicated on the right that will increase the blue bar at the top. Once that bar is complete, you will move on to the next rank. Once you've completed all your daily ones, it won't reset until the following day. You also have weekly. These ones give you a greater score to advance you through your ranks faster, which are also only available once a week. There are also score boosters that you can use, but I can't use one. I'm currently at 25%. There are also, let's say you come across one that you don't really feel like doing. Like you don't know where microscopes are and you can't find it online. You can re-roll it to get another one at random. And then as you complete these and you increase through the ranks, it'll allow you to purchase these items with tickets. Tickets, as you can see in the bottom right hand side of my screen, every time you rank up, you acquire more tickets. So if there's something on one page you would like, but it costs more tickets than what you currently have, then you can save them and not purchase anything on the previous screen. When I first started, once I chose my special setup, I was pretty much locked in. There wasn't really a way to change it out. But now there's something called a punch card machine. So you can interact with it, select one of these rows, and then it'll let you make another loadout. So I've got my power armor build. It's got a completely different set of perks. And you can see my special is massively different. My RR for railway, but it's my bloodied commando build. Massively different perk setup, different specials. So now what you can do is you can set up multiple builds. If you want more than just 2 loadouts, you have to purchase additional ones from the Atom shop. But it is very nifty to be able to go back to your camp or another player's camp or train stations to switch your loadout to something. Well, guys, thanks for watching. This is just a few more things I thought of to make a second video about that I forgot about in the first one. There'll probably be a second one. If you have any questions about something that maybe I didn't cover, ask me in the comments. Maybe I'll answer you directly. Maybe I'll make another video about it. But also, if you see me on, feel free to hit me up. If you're new and I could, if I have the materials, I can make you some armor or a good starter weapon. But yeah, thank you, and till next time. Have a good day.